Hey friends, we're going to be reading a tremendous prophecy that appears in the Psalms written by King David, but I have to lay a little groundwork for it because probably many of you are not familiar with the biblical account in the New Testament, New Covenant, of the crucifixion of Yeshua. You may have seen some movies of that depicted in many biblical movies, old and new. And of course that comes directly from the eyewitness account as depicted in the New Covenant. So I'm going to read to you just a small portion, the way it appears in the book of Matthew, of the biblical account of the crucifixion, and then we'll get into the prophecy to see some of the amazing fulfillments of that was written many, many years, obviously, before it happened. You don't have to worry about any curses or anything. I'm not asking you to read in the New Testament, God forbid. But so I'm going to read it to you, so you don't have to worry. The curse is off. So it's above me on my computer screen. That's why I'm looking up. So here is some of the account as it appears in the book of Matthew. This is in chapter 27. I'm starting in verse 32. It says, "As they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. They compelled him to bear his cross," referring to the cross that Yeshua was carrying. And when they were come upon a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of the skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted it, he wouldn't drink it. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots for them. And sitting down, they watched him there, and they set over his head his accusation written, "This is Yeshua, the King of the Jews." Then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right, one on the left. And as they passed by, reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, "Thou that destroyed the temple and build it in 3 days, save thyself. If you be the Son of Man, the Son of God, come down from that cross." Likewise also the chief priests, mocking him with the scribes and elders, said, "He saved others. Himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God. Let him deliver him now, if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God." The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Yeshua cried with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani?" That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken thee?" I'm going to stop there. There's another parallel account in the book of John, but that pretty much gives you an idea of the biblical account. I'm going to be reading, once again, Hebrew, English, Tanakh, 1955, Psalm 22, written by King David. And to give you an idea, David lived about 1,000 years BC, to give you a timetable. So here is what David wrote. I should say what he did write it down, what God gave him to write. And it's kind of interesting as we read the beginning of 22. It starts out the way I ended reading that account in the book of Matthew. It says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And art far away from my help at the words of my cry. O my God, I called by day, but thou answered not, and at night there is no cease from me. Yet thou art holy. O thou art enthroned upon the praises of Israel. In thee did our fathers trust. They trusted, and thou did deliver them. Unto thee they cried and escaped. In thee did they trust, and were not ashamed. But I am a worm and no man, a reproach of men and despised of the people. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip, they shake their heads. Let him commit himself unto the Lord. Let him rescue him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delights in him. Sound familiar? For thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou made me trust when I was upon my mother's breast. Upon thee I have been cast from my birth. Thou art my God and my mother's womb. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have encompassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me round. They open their mouths against me. As a ravening and a roaring lion, I am poured out like water. All of my bones are out of joint. My heart is become like wax. It is melted in my inmost parts. My strength is dried up like a potsherd. That's like an old clay pot. And my tongue cleaves to my throat. And thou layest me in the dust of death, for dogs have encompassed me. Dogs meaning Gentiles, non-Jews. A company of evildoers have enclosed me. Like a lion they are at my hands and my feet. They pierced my hands and my feet. I may count all my bones. They look and gloat over me. They part my garments among them, and for my vesture do they cast lots. I'm going to stop there. That's the first 19 verses of 20. I think that was God calling. I rejected that call. I want to give you some facts. This is really interesting. By the way, crucifixion, I'm reading here, an important method of capital punishment, particularly among the Persians and Seleucids and Romans from about the 6th century BCE to the 4th century CE, when Constantine the Great, the first Christian emperor, abolished it. So the earliest known account of crucifixion was about 600 BC. And of course, David wrote that psalm in approximately 1000 BC, so 400 years before crucifixion was ever invented. The derivation of the word cruce, meaning cross, the English word excruciating comes from it because of the type of death that it brought. Let me read you this. The estimates of probability included come from a group of secular research scientists as an example of their method of estimation, and consider their calculations from this prophecy, the one I just read. Some 400 years before crucifixion was invented, both Israel's King David and the prophet Hezekiah, which I read to you a few weeks ago, described the Messiah's death in words that perfectly depict that mode of execution. Further, they said that the body would be pierced and that none of the bones would be broken, contrary to customary procedures in cases of crucifixion. Again, historians and New Testament writers confirm the fulfillment. Yeshua of Nazareth died on a Roman cross, and his extraordinarily quick death eliminated the need for the usual breaking of bones. A spear was thrust into his side to verify that he was already indeed dead. Now, their calculation, secular research scientists, the probability of a chance fulfillment of that occurring is 1 in 10 to the 13th power. Now, I used to teach math, so I'm going to break that down for you so you have a better understanding of what that is. 1 in 10 to the 13th power. That is a 1 with 13 zeros attached to it. I'm almost done. That is 10 billion to 1. 10 billion to 1. And for you football fans, Las Vegas had set the odds of the San Francisco 49ers to win the 2018 Super Bowl 300 to 1. That's the largest odds that they have given out. 300 to 1. I'm going to bet on Yeshua. Vegas won't take that bet. I'll see you next time.